Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy.
An article came out recently about a possible trade for the Saints of Jameis Winston. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The trade would take place between the New Orleans Saints and the Las Vegas Raiders. Huge surprise. We might as well just call them the New Orleans Raiders at this point, but it all stems from Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. He recently announced publicly he had foot surgery back in March. He's going to miss the entire offseason, may actually even miss part of the regular season, at least the start of it. The Raiders are super thin at QB. We know they kind of went all in on Jimmy G, but behind him, 37-year-old Brian Hoyer, second-year pro Chase Garber, and Purdue rookie Aiden O'Connell. Jameis Winston is obviously a significant upgrade from those guys. And this article, I'm trying to remember who wrote it. Saints Wire shared it, but it wasn't by Saints Wire. They named Jameis as one of the top targets. Now, that is a trade that could actually happen. And I'm not saying I want it to happen or anything. Look, Jameis's play on the field, it's been shaky in his NFL career. He's had good, he's had bad, but by all accounts, he has been the ultimate team guy, the ultimate locker room guy. He's been on the bench twice. You see him, though. He's in the media. He's all smiles. He's firing the guys up in the locker room. You saw him dancing on one leg 2 years ago when he tore his ACL. He seems like he likes it in New Orleans, but if the price is right, I think it's something that the Saints actually should consider. Now, the trade would depend on what compensation the Saints would want in return. If you remember when they traded Teddy Bridgewater a few years back, they received a third-round pick. I don't see that happening, though. I think something more along the lines of a late-round selection is more likely. So, let's say they do trade Jameis Winston. What would the Saints do at quarterback? Because other than Carr and Haener, they wouldn't have anybody on the roster. So I wanted to take a look at some of the top free agent QBs that the Saints may sign if they were, in fact, to trade Jameis Winston. You got Carson Wentz out there, who's 30 years old. We've seen Carson Wentz be really good in this league. Ever since he had that knee injury, he's been shaky. But could he be a quality backup? I think so. A guy I just mentioned a minute ago, Teddy Bridgewater, 30 years old. He's out there. He's familiar with the city. He seemed to enjoy his time in New Orleans. The team loved him. That's a possibility as well. Former Super Bowl MVP, Mr. Joe Flacco. He's out there. Now, he's obviously a little bit older. He would be more along the lines of a one-year rental. He's 38 years old. You also have Nick Foles out there, though, at 34. Another guy that led his team to a Super Bowl, got a ring, started a lot of games in this league. And again, all of these guys are backup QB, so a guy that could fill in if, knock on wood, something happened to Derek Carr. Now, that's if the Raiders give up a pick. What if they don't give up a pick, though? Could they give up a player for Jameis Winston? How about Hunter Renfro? We've seen the Hunter Renfro rumors running rampant. They've been flying around recently. Could this kind of speed up that process? Because now that the Raiders need a QB, Saints, you got the old Raiders QB, a guy that had a great connection with Hunter Renfro. The talk's already been there. However, I don't think they're going to make that trade straight up. So what could the Saints do to give up besides Jameis Winston? A player? Maybe a third or a fourth round pick. So would you do that? If you were the New Orleans Saints, would you trade Jameis Winston and a fourth round pick for Hunter Renfro? I think I might do it. I think I'll do it. I know that sounds crazy because Jameis one of the top backups in the league, but I just threw out some free agent QBs, and it's slim pickings, but that top four I mentioned, Wentz, Bridgewater, Flacco, Foles, they're more than capable of being a backup on the squad. Now, I don't think the Raiders make this trade. It was just something that was thrown out there. I think the Raiders will ultimately sign Wentz, but it does make the Renfro rumors a little bit more intriguing. Because, again, that is a path we've seen him take. We've heard Derek Carr, back when he was in Vegas, publicly talk about how good his connection is with Hunter Renfro, how much he trusts him as a receiver. 2 years ago, Renfro went for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns with Derek Carr. He had some injury problems this year, but that connection's always been there. That little short passing game, we know the Saints thrive on the short passing game. Renfro would slide in like a glove. I think it's something that the Saints should actually consider if the Raiders are serious about trading for a guy like Jameis Winston. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but if you're the Saints, you do have to weigh all of your options. We'll see what happens. Will Jameis be in the black and gold next year? I think he will. Will Hunter Renfro? We don't know because they're certainly in the market for a pass catcher. Although we have heard rave reviews about A.T. Perry so far in Saints OTAs.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.